One man went missing in the woods, and two came out. Same face, same name, but only one of them was human. This is the story of Raven Ridge, and the thing that copies you. Please comment where you're listening from, and let's begin. I've done enough solo hikes to know what actual danger looks like. Broken bones, bad weather, dehydration. Those things give you signs. You feel them creeping. You know when to turn around. But this didn't feel like danger. Not at first. I was 3 hours into a day hike. Small trailhead off a gravel road in central Washington. Found it on a forum post. Said it was lightly trafficked with beautiful ridge views. It was marked, clear, almost too clean. Around mile 4, I passed a wooden sign nailed to a tree. Raven Ridge, 1.5 miles, with an arrow pointing right. I remember because I took a picture of it. I stopped to eat and rest. Sat on a boulder near the tree line, checked my GPS. No signal, which wasn't surprising out there. 30 minutes later, I packed up and headed back the way I came. But when I got to the fork again, the sign was different. It still said Raven Ridge, 1.5 miles. But now the arrow pointed left. I thought maybe I misremembered. Maybe I took the picture from the other side. I opened my camera roll. Same angle, same tree. But in the photo, the arrow was definitely pointing right. That's when the quiet started getting to me. The kind of quiet where even the wind seems to avoid the place. I walked back the way I thought I came. 20 minutes passed. No familiar landmarks, just trees. I doubled back, tried to follow my own footprints, but the trail was too dry. Nothing stuck. I saw the sign again. Same tree, same letters. This time the arrow was pointing down. It wasn't nailed in. It had screws. Heavy-duty ones. You'd need tools to flip it. Something was messing with me. I turned and walked fast. Heart pounding. No signal. No sound. The shadows started getting long. Eventually, I saw another sign. Different one. Just a stake in the ground. It read, "Stay on trail, do not run." But it wasn't facing the path. It was facing the woods, like it was meant for someone in the forest. I kept walking, never left the trail. Didn't even stop to drink water. I made it out by sundown. Got in my car, drove until I saw pavement. Then I pulled over and finally checked my phone. The GPS caught a signal. I looked up Raven Ridge Trail. Nothing. No recent posts, no photos, no reviews. Only one entry on an old hiking blog from 2014. A woman said her brother never came back from that trail. Last seen near a wooden sign. She uploaded a photo. It was the same sign I saw. Except in her picture, the arrow was pointing straight up. I should have let it go. When I made it back to town, I told myself to forget about it. The sign, the wrong turns, the silence. But that night I kept checking the photo I took, comparing it, zooming in, looking for something I missed. And I noticed something I hadn't seen before. In the corner of my photo, barely visible behind the tree, there was a boot print, fresh, deep heel, facing the trail. But I hadn't seen anyone out there. Next morning I called the ranger station, gave them the rough location, asked if there had ever been missing persons reports out by Raven Ridge. They said there was no official trail by that name, no maintained paths out there at all, which didn't make sense. There were markers, signs, cleared brush. Someone had been maintaining it. Someone built the damn thing. And now they were acting like it didn't exist. I drove back the next day, parked in the same spot. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. I told myself I wouldn't go far. Just far enough to prove to myself it was real. The trail was still there. Still clean. Still quiet. No birds, no squirrels, just me and the wind. About 30 minutes in, I reached the fork. The same tree. The same wooden sign. But the words were gone. The wood was blank. No arrows, no carving, just weathered oak. I turned around immediately, started walking fast, then faster. 50 yards later I stopped, because I was right back at the fork again. Same tree, same blank sign. I didn't walk in a circle. I know I didn't. I followed the trail straight back, never turned once. I tried again. This time I counted my steps, took photos every 100 feet, broke branches behind me, still ended up back at the fork. No matter what direction I walked, I came back to that same tree. That's when I realized I wasn't alone. There was no sound, no footsteps, but I could feel it. that pressure behind your back, like someone's watching but never blinking. I kept walking. Didn't sit, didn't drink. My mouth was dry and my legs started to shake. Eventually I found something new, a second sign, much older. Faded text burned into it. Keep walking. I don't know how long I've been walking now. My phone won't unlock. My compass spins. The food's gone. The sun doesn't feel right anymore. It keeps setting, but it never gets dark. I found another sign this morning. This one was nailed to the dirt. It said, "Stay on trail. You're almost out." It was covered in dried blood. And next to it, I found a boot. Just one. The same tread I saw in my photo. But it's not mine. And I think I'm walking in his footsteps. I didn't mean to do it. I wasn't planning to step off the trail. I knew the rules, even if I didn't understand them. Stay on the path. Keep walking. Don't run. But rules are easy when your mind's still sharp. When you're not hungry or hallucinating from dehydration. When you haven't seen the sun rise twice without ever fully setting. I lost track of time somewhere after the second sign with blood on it. I tried to drink from a creek. The water didn't taste right. Chemical, almost warm. I threw it up 15 minutes later. Then I found the shirt. It was hanging from a low branch, torn, faded blue. Someone had written a message across it in marker. "There's no out." Under it, carved into the tree bark, were 4 deep gouges. Not from a knife, from hands. That's when I stopped thinking clearly. I started screaming, yelling into the trees, begging for someone to come find me, threatening whatever was doing this. I cursed the trail, the signs, the whole damn mountain. That's when I heard it again. Footsteps, not mine, behind me, slow, measured. I spun around, nothing. Then I took a photo. And when I looked at the screen, just for a second, I saw something standing between the trees. Not an animal, not a person, just tall. Too tall. Like it shouldn't have fit between the trunks. Thin and upright. Almost too upright. Like it had been holding still for hours. I didn't think. I just ran. Didn't care about the trail. I jumped over a log and sprinted into the trees. Branches slapped my face, thorns tore at my arms, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. I ran until my lungs gave out, then dropped to the ground behind a fallen tree and covered my mouth. I sat there for hours. It didn't chase me, but it followed. Always the same sound. A branch cracking. A foot dragging through leaves. At some point I must have passed out. When I woke up, there was a sign in front of me, propped against a stump, handwritten on cardboard. Fresh black marker. "You stepped off." Now it steps closer. I'm not hungry anymore. Not thirsty either. It's like something's rewiring my brain to forget I ever had those needs. I can still hear the trail. Like it's alive behind me. Breathing. But I know if I go back now, it won't help. The signs won't face the right way. The path won't lead to anything human. This morning I checked my bag again. Everything was as I left it. Except one thing. There was a new photo in my phone. I don't remember taking it. It's of me, asleep behind the log. And behind me, in the trees, it's closer now. I thought I saw a ranger. Orange vest, broad shoulders, walking the ridge above me. I didn't yell. Not at first. I couldn't trust what I was seeing. I climbed the slope instead. Hands numb, feet raw, dirt caked into the cuts on my knuckles from falling earlier. My vision kept going white around the edges, like my body was pulling the plug but hadn't told my brain yet. When I got to the top, the ridge was empty, just wind and pine. But there were boot prints, real ones, deep, fresh, heading downhill. I followed them, tripping, slipping, half crawling. Then I saw it. A tarp, bright blue, staked between trees. A camp. Not old, either. There was still heat coming off a can of soup next to the fire pit. A blanket was laid out with a backpack beside it. I didn't care who it belonged to. I dropped to my knees and started drinking from a jug they'd left open. I ate the soup cold. Burned my throat, but I didn't stop. I tore open a protein bar with shaking fingers. Then I saw the notebook. It was open on a flat rock, pages damp from dew. Scribbled handwriting filled every inch. I flipped to the middle and read, "The thing doesn't kill. It copies. It learns. Every time you sleep, it learns you better." Eventually, it starts leaving you reminders of yourself. Don't trust the voice. Don't answer questions. Don't look it in the eyes. I flipped back a few pages. Same handwriting, getting more chaotic. It took my voice first. Then my dreams. Last night, it wore my face. That's when I realized I couldn't hear anything anymore. Not even the wind. I turned. Something was standing 10 feet away. Same orange vest, same broad shoulders, but too still. Like it hadn't just walked there. I reached for the hatchet by the fire pit and held it out like a warning. It didn't move. "Who are you?" I asked. It smiled. My smile. I didn't wait. I screamed and charged, swung the hatchet into its collar. It didn't bleed, just made a sound like splitting wood. It staggered, twitched, then laughed. Not loud, not human, like it was testing the sound. I ran, didn't stop for an hour, maybe more. Now I'm somewhere new. The trees look wrong. Bent at the wrong angles, too narrow. The sky above me is a dull, endless gray, like someone turned the sun off. There's a sign nailed to a post in front of me. Fresh paint. Only one of you leaves. I'm not alone anymore. I hear footsteps behind me at night, and sometimes in the dark, I see another flashlight beam. Flickering. Pacing. Waiting. If you're reading this, if you found this journal, don't try to help. Just figure out which one of us is real, and don't pick wrong. SAR Team 6 report. Incident, missing hiker, Raven Ridge Trail, unmarked. Name, Aaron Miles, 31, male. Recovered, yes. Condition, alive, severely dehydrated, multiple lacerations, hypothermic, altered mental state. Narrative as told by survivor during initial debrief, prior to sedation. I know how it's going to sound. I wouldn't believe me either. But I swear to you, I was never supposed to be on that trail. I found it by accident. No map, no signage off the highway. Just an old wooden post with a paper arrow stapled to it. I took a picture. It was real. When I followed it, everything felt too clean. No trash, no overgrowth. Like the forest had been curated. Then I saw the signs. The first one pointed right. Then later, when I turned back, the same sign pointed left. That's when I knew something was wrong. I kept walking, got lost. Days passed. I stopped counting time. I found warnings, handwritten signs, a journal. I found someone's camp. Someone else who had been out there, losing their mind like me. Then it started following me. It watched me, copied me. It wore my face. I hit it with a hatchet. It didn't die. It laughed. I ran. I stopped sleeping. It said one of us would leave. It was trying to replace me. That trail wasn't natural. It kept resetting. No matter how far I walked, I'd come back to the same tree, the same fork. The signs kept changing. You have to believe me. You have to. Case addendum, interview with SAR team medic. When we found Aaron, he was curled against a tree with his back to a carved trail marker. The words were familiar. Stay on trail. His hands were bloody, clothes torn, pupils unresponsive to light. But what stood out was what we found 20 feet away, under a pile of brush. Another man, dead. Same height, same building, same face. Clothes, identical. Wallet, identical ID. Fingerprints, identical. 2 Aaron Miles, one breathing, one not. We called it in. The body was retrieved for autopsy. The survivor was sedated and airlifted. That should have been the end. But this morning, I was called in for a private review of the coroner's findings. Cause of death. Multiple blunt force injuries to the skull. Defensive wounds present. Time of death. Roughly 12 hours before we found the survivor. But here's what changed everything. The body we recovered? It had the broken leg. The sunburn on the left cheek. The photo of the trail sign. Time stamped day 1. The journal entries. The hatchet wounds from something fighting back. Every injury the survivor claimed he had was on that body. The man we rescued? No scars, no burn, no broken bones, not even a single bug bite. Perfect skin, calm resting pulse, emotionally disconnected. Like someone wearing a body that wasn't used to being alive. I told my superior. They shut the file and labeled it a confusion case, a mental breakdown. But I know what I saw, and before they took him away, Aaron, or whatever was wearing Aaron, turned to me and said something I can't stop hearing. He smiled and whispered, "You picked right."